we pick up where we left off in 23 with the Montreal Alouettes and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the Grey Cup. And we all remember that dramatic finish, Glenn, led by Cody Fajardo down the field in the final minute for the victory. What a difference a year makes for Cody Fajardo, now coming in as a Grey Cup champ.
Yeah, these two teams battled to finish season. They'll battle to start the 24 season. And let's start with Cody Fajardo. Almost called it a career at the beginning of last year. Got a call from Jason Moss and kept playing. And all he did was lead the Owls to a championship and took home MVP honors in the process. Zach Collaros was the opposing quarterback in the Cup. Bombers pivot knows that big game very well. Since being traded to Winnipeg in 2019, he has led the Bombers to the Cup every single year and won it twice.
It was 10 years ago Mike O'Shea took over as head coach in Winnipeg. This is his 10th season, and what a remarkable run he's had, especially in the last 4 years, going to the Grey Cup all 4 of those years. And Jason Moss, he left himself a tough act to follow with Montreal. This is his 2nd year as Al's head coach, and we know what happened in 23. Great run at the end, 8 straight wins, including the victory over Winnipeg at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. 200 days later, we're about to begin again. Myron Mitchell, one of the newcomers for Winnipeg, back there with Johnny Augustine. It's the All-24. From here on in, a new CFL season is underway. The kickoff by David Cote from Montreal, and it is the newcomer Mitchell with it. Big return for him to get it started. Janarian Grant leaving Winnipeg to sign on as a free agent in Toronto.
Think about that trade back in October of 2019 with the Argos. Zach Collaros becomes a Winnipeg Blue Bomber, has led the Bombers to the Cup in every single season since starting at quarterback here, and threw for almost 4,500 yards last season.
That was a career high for Collaros last season in terms of passing yards. 33 touchdowns to 15 picks. So Winnipeg taking the ball first after Montreal had won the toss and handing off. So along the ground to Brady Oliveira. We saw that a lot last year. So a first carry right away for the CFL's leading rusher in 23.
Leading rusher behind a good offensive line. Had to make a couple of changes. DeMarcus Hardrick at right tackle, no longer with the Bombers. Eric Lofton will take that spot, and Brady Oliveira led the way with that group, running behind that O-line, and was the outstanding Canadian in the 23 season.
He had over 1,500 yards in terms of Canadian running backs, second only to John Cornish in CFL history for a single season. So it's a 2nd and 8 now after that 2-yard pickup, and that one he does not hang on. That's intended for Nick Dembski. So a 2-and-out to start for Winnipeg here in the season opener.
Boy, that the Montreal defense was underrated, I think, last year through that stretch of 8-game win streak leading into the playoffs and winning the Grey Cup. I mean, everyone talked about Cody Fajardo, good offense, big play receivers, but that defense really turned it on in the second half.
Jamison Sheehan in his 2nd year, the punter for Winnipeg, standing just outside his 30. Watch James Letcher. He got a chance late in the season. He made the most of it for the Alouettes. And taking off here to the left. Good coverage downfield with a flag coming out. But good tackle and special teams there by Brian Cole.
See him in the defense, not necessarily in the starting lineup, but for the Bombers, but we will see him at linebacker with Shane Gauthier, with Adam Bighill out of the lineup for this one.
During the return, illegal block, Montreal number 29, 10-yard penalty, first down.
There he is, the Grey Cup hero, Cody Fajardo.
Cody Fajardo, Grey Cup champion. Talked to him this week. He liked the sounds of that. What a finish to that game last year to wrap up the season in the championship. Final minute drive and throw to Philpott for the touchdown.
Here we go on first down, and it's a sweep to the right inside, and that's Tyler Sneed, who's in his 2nd year, who also had a big playoff for the Alouettes. So let's take a closer look at the Montreal Alouette offense.
Yeah, a little bit younger up front, but you look at that offensive line, Justin Lawrence will be the guy that keeps it all together, at least early on in the season. The interior of that O-line intact. And no Austin Mack. That was #1 receiver for Montreal. He's in the National Football League. Charleston Rambo takes over for Mack.
On the right hash now, and they're opening drive at a 2nd and 5 at the 20. Fajardo at a shotgun with time. And he completes it shy of a first down. And that is the aforementioned Charleston Rambo, the newcomer, playing in the boundary wideout position. So can he do what Austin Mack did last year in his first year with the Alouettes?
Well, started his college career at Oklahoma and then ended up at Miami, played in the Cotton Bowl, was a very good receiver in Division I football down south. Big shoes to fill, filling in for Austin Mack, but boy, Montreal, although every team at this point coming out of training camp likes what they got. They come out of training camp, they go, you know what, I like our group, I love our group, I think we got a big play group.
And they're all undefeated.
They're all undefeated.
Joseph Zima standing back at the Alouette 10. New returner, Myron Mitchell, is standing back inside his 40 for this nice punt by Zima. So Mitchell takes it in the air and picks up about 4 or 5, and that's it for him as he's taken down. Zach Collaros 2 and out in the first possession, coming back on again. Amazing run with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, starting a new year in 24. Yes, New York Fries, Thursday night football. Got us thinking as well as watching
got
this
hungry.
game. And the Bombers about to start their second possession. The two-time most outstanding player, Zach Collaros, at quarterback, handing back to Brady Oliveira, who starts to lose his feet, but he still managed to lean forward and pick up a good gain on the first down against that Alouette defense.
A couple newcomers for the Montreal defense up front. Derek Wigan, former Calgary Stampeder. I think Eddie Berglund is also on that defensive line as a starter defensive end. Darnell Sankey led the way in that turnaround the midseason for Montreal, and Marc-Antoine Dequoy, the all-star safety.
What a game breaker he was last year, wasn't he? He had a pick 6 in their visit to Winnipeg last summer, in summer of 23, and of course big one in the Eastern Final that helped Montreal beat Toronto. Faking to Dembski on the 2nd down. Collaros runs out of time, and it's Sean Lemon who comes in. Lemon, one of the all-time sack leaders in the CFL, and is allowed to play. He has been suspended, but it's under appeal, so Lemon, until that appeal is heard, can keep playing for the Alouettes.
Well, speaking of all-star at safety, there's Dequoy coming down from his safety position. He likes to play low, made some big plays last year from down there. In fact, a few pick sixes. When Zach Collaros saw that, he was trying to go deep down the middle. Coverage rotated to it. Sack for Lemon.
Mustafa Johnson was in on that as well, but Lemon with the sack, 102nd of his career. Here's James Letcher, game breaker. We saw that late last year, and a good return, getting it up near midfield. And a nice spot to begin for Cody Fajardo. Collaros been sacked by Lemon before, and he was again there in a scoreless tie early. The season opener in Winnipeg on TSN. Finds Tyson Philpott for the game-winning touchdown.
Well, the drive was amazing. There was just about 20 seconds left when Philpott caught that touchdown. 13 for the Bombers to try and come back. They couldn't. Montreal, Grey Cup champion. Dramatic fashion. Big time.
There was a 2nd and 18, a 3rd and 5 on that. They extended the drive, ultimately winning in the hands of Walter Fletcher. A lot of talk about William Stanback leaving as a free agent to the BC Lions. And Fletcher been a part of that Alouette offense in previous years, and looks like the feature back right now for Montreal.
Well, coming off the edge, he's going to have to deal with this guy. Still around and still getting it done. Willie Jefferson, 33 years old, going into this campaign, and last year led his team in sacks. No Adam Bighill, late arriving from that injury, so Shane Gauthier will start in the middle, and newcomer on the corner, Terrell Bonds, playing for DeMario Houston.
Fletcher stays in, no gain, 2nd and 10 at the Alouette 51. Fajardo running at a time. Celestin Hill, but nearly had him. It's intercepted by Brian Cole. Cole down the sidelines, finally forced out deep in the Alouette zone. Pressure was coming from Haba, and Fajardo is picked off early in this season opener in Winnipeg.
I mentioned you're going to see some Brian Cole in the lineup. with Adam Bighill out, and he's going to disguise this nicely, kind of slides up like he's going to actually come on a delayed blitz and then drops underneath this throw. Cody Fajardo doesn't see him, and Cole is off to the races. I mean, great disguise by Brian Cole out of Mississippi. Third year now with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and is going to get some playing time with Bighill out.
Turnovers were huge for the Alouettes in their playoff run. Against them now, it's first down. And that one, just the shoe tops of Kenny Lawler, who can't hang on to it. But big moment for Brian Cole. As you said, trying to find a spot as a starter in this linebacking core for Winnipeg.
Well, and he can move around. I mean, he's a linebacker, but he's one of those tweener type linebackers, free safeties or strong safety. Played both positions in college at Mississippi State, so he can fly around to the football and disguise that nicely.
On the incompletion is 2nd and 10 now. The Montreal 20 set up by the Cole interception. Collaros, and that one low and caught. Not enough for a first down, but Lawler does hang on to it, and it gets them closer inside the 15.
Well, how close?
See, the spot of the football is, you know what Collaros wants to do.
Yeah, first decision of the 24 campaign for Coach Mike O'Shea. Closing in on a pretty good milestone in Bomber history.
And on comes Chris Strebler in relief of Zach Collaros. Circa 2019, remember when they had these two quarterbacks. Strebler, his first game back since they won the Grey Cup 5 years ago. After some time in the NFL, and he is known for this situation. Great running quarterback as he keeps it. Right side, pushes through, and it looks like he has enough. Down to the 10. They keep the football in Winnipeg 10. Now, they needed 2 yards, so the Alouettes might disagree. We'll wait on a measurement here.
Well, they were moving the chains.
Yeah, the signal is first down Winnipeg.
Yeah, they were moving the chains without even measuring. I think the Owls thought that there was a fumble at the bottom of this pile.
Remember how effectively Winnipeg used Chris Strebler to complement Zach Collaros late in that Grey Cup run in 2019. He had for a time been the starting quarterback for the Bombers earlier that season and started his first 3 games in the CFL back in 2018. So a welcome back for Strebler, getting the first down. 1st and goal, right at the 10. Play fake, ends in a lock. No, too far. Intended for Dalton Schoen, who led the Canadian Football League last year in touchdown catches with 10.
A play fake to the leading rusher in the league can really influence the defense, and I think Zach Collaros thought he had something here with this corner route, and just he's got some outside leverage. That ball just thrown a little bit over that right shoulder. Dalton Schoen had a shot at that. Pretty good route.
Lawler to the left, Wolotarski off to the right, throwing again on the 2nd down. Pump fake, stepping up, looking to the left for Lawler. Oh, not quite, a bit too far, and nearly at one of those patented Kenny Lawler catches that he has done so many times leaning back, but just couldn't get his hands on the ball.
Well, the pump fake opened up Kenny Lawler, and they were on the same page right up until the final throw. I mean, right up until when it left the hand of Zach Collaros. Look at the route. First of all, it's a little dig route, and then they adjust on the fly, a pump to go to that corner. And once again, the ball just gets away on Collaros, just inside shoulder, and Kenny Lawler almost came up with it.
How many times have we seen him actually come down with those ones? 17-yard try now for Sergio Castillo, who made over 90% of his field goal tries in 2023. He's 1 for 1 in 2024. So points off a turnover. Not a touchdown, but it was that close. Instead a field goal, but it's 3-0 Winnipeg leading the Alouettes.
A trigger for his players and coaches to remain fixated and focused on title number 9. For instance, there are 9 steps in the stairway in the players' private entrance leading to their practice facility at Olympic Stadium. And so as the season unfolds, in moments of success where number 9 is significant, they'll keep bringing that up as they try to develop a common mindset to solidify their drive for another championship. Rod.
So John, grind for 9 after be great for 8. And wouldn't you know it, last year, by mid-September, they were 6-7. They won 8 straight games to win the Grey Cup. And the ring title. Fajardo throwing, and a little in behind Tyler Sneed. He takes a pop as well as that falls incomplete.
Well, both these quarterbacks that, are both, you look at their hands, they're going to have Grey Cup rings on those hands. Both these quarterbacks a little bit off to start this game. I mean, Zach Collaros had a couple of open receivers in the end zone, missed them both. And this one, as you mentioned, Rod, just a little bit behind the target. These guys will get locked in, but can give Cody Fajardo a little bit of a break when he's got a guy running, coming downhill on him.
So the Alouettes again in a 2nd and long. It's 2nd and 10 now. Pressure's coming. Fajardo gets rid of it to the right. That is caught by Sneed. And they rule it a catch. Tyler Sneed in his 2nd year out of East Carolina. What a find he was for the Alouettes last year, and a big catch for a first down there.
Well, that's what I mean about
Ruling out of field is a catch.
That's what I mean about it won't take these quarterbacks, these veteran quarterbacks, very long to get locked in. That was a very accurate throw to the sideline.
Just needed 1 foot in bounds, and it was a catch. And back to Walter Fletcher now as Montreal quickly runs another play.
This is a long throw in Canadian football to get it from that far hash all the way to the sideline and be that accurate on the throw. It won't take them long. And 1 foot in. Nice catch.
And a gain of 6 for Fletcher in the ensuing play. So a 2nd and 4 in Bomber territory after the Alouettes' first down of this game. Lots of time and a deep look. Fajardo, coverage is there from the new corner. Terrell Bonds, who's covering Rambo, and that falls incomplete. 3rd down coming up.
Are you saying Bond versus Rambo?
Bonds versus Rambo.
Who do you like in that matchup? I mean, Bond's got Q. He's got the gadgets. Rambo's a fighter. I mean, he's not going to give up. He's going to battle you all the way to the end. Bonds gets the first one. Terrell Bonds out of Tennessee State. Mentioned DeMario Houston. Moving on in free agency.
Filling some big shoes there. The boundary corner is Bonds with the punt from Zima and back from Mitchell. At the 15, trying to find a place to go. He can't. Ball comes out. Was he down? And it's Bryce Cosby picking it up. It is Montreal football. A newcomer for the Alouettes in Bryce Cosby with a big pickup on special teams. Mitchell, it comes out. And on the turf, Cosby has it. Montreal ball now inside the Alouette, or the Bomber 15.
We'll take another look at the fumble. First of all, let's make sure that it was a fumble. I believe in the replays, the ball is out before they're down by contact. Terrell Richards is the one who pulls it out. Beverette's also in on the tackle. You can see
Winnipeg,
the ball is out.
Challenged the previous play for no yards.
Okay.
The play will be reviewed.
So Michael Shea has challenged no yards, which he can.
So not challenging whether the knee was down. Obviously it wasn't, but and this is interesting. In the Grey Cup last year, Such, you may recall, Montreal had a challenge for no yards on a fumble on a return by James Letcher. A new wrinkle for us this year. That's a live look at the command center in Toronto. It's Dave Foxcroft and Jeff Harbin who will be ultimately deciding this, as they'll get a lot of different views to see whether or not it was no yards.
Well, it's a 5-yard halo that goes all the way around the returner, and I don't think it's close.
And so O'Shea's challenge for no yards. They've looked it over in the command center. Is it Montreal ball deep? Here's the announcement from referee Andre Proulx.
After review by the command center, there was no infraction for no yards on the play. There was a fumble recovered by Montreal. First down, Montreal. Winnipeg lose their challenge and a timeout.
So Alouette football, mentioning again, Glenn, what we're showing you now, a live look inside. Dave Foxcroft is there, Jeff Harbin, and the crew in the command center making these key decisions.
We're going to take you right into the command center, and we've got two longtime veterans in there. Get the good work, guys.
Alouette ball, deep, Bomber zone, that is caught. Tyson Philpott, touchdown! Well, isn't that fitting? First touchdown of the 2024 season is scored by the guy who had the last touchdown in 2023. Fajardo to Philpott again.
Well, first of all, whenever you get a turnover from your special teams or defense, you want to get back and go right after the opposing defense and take care of that momentum, keep it with you, and score on offense with the major. The Montreal Alouettes get that done in one play, and yeah, it's the hero from the Grey Cup in the final seconds of that one, getting started early in 24.
Drafted back in 2022, along with his twin brother, Jalen Philpott, who went to the Stampeders, and Tyson to the Owls, and what a career early on for Tyson Philpott with the Montreal Alouettes. Of course, a moment that could never be taken away in that championship last year. And what a start after the turnover and the punt return as Cody Fajardo finds Philpott again.
Well, he's going to be ended up all by himself outside as the corner drops off on this play to help out on the deep route. So Philpott has lots of time to get turned around, and now he can put a move on the DB in the open field, and that was a great one inside. A little spin move to get into the end zone and finish off the run.
Tyson Philpott. What an enjoyable offseason I'm sure he had, as did that man, Cody Fajardo. As they're the first to find the end zone this year. And a 7-3 lead. All the points scored off turnovers in this game so far. Just under 4 minutes to go until quarter time. And back for the kickoff, Myron Mitchell, who had coughed up the football just moments ago, leading to that Alouette TD. So Winnipeg getting the ball again, and Mitchell is coming in across the 30, breaking out left, and finally taken down up close to the 45 for the Bombers. Now trailing by 4 here in the season opener.
Well, just like Cody Fajardo, it won't take Zach Collaros long to get locked in and get that accuracy back. A couple misses inside the red zone in the last drive and in the field goal. But he'll get there.
Off to a 1-for-5 start for just 8 yards. Of course, set up deep in the Owl zone after the interception by Brian Cole. So back to work again. But they're 45. Handing off Oliveira, who had so much work last year, but Collaros, of course.
Well, he threw for 33 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
And like I said, he'll get locked in quickly. If you take a look and go back to 2021, because some of the veteran starting quarterbacks in the league.
What a difference, though.
Right?
That's amazing.
Right? I mean, 90 for Zach. Won't take him long.
Second and 6. Heat's coming. Gets rid of it. Wanted Dembski. Still looking for his first catch in 2024. Coverage is there. Incomplete. 3rd and 6. And the punting unit coming on again for Winnipeg.
1,000-yard season for Nick Dembski. So much more than just a gadget guy now. And Zach knows it. I mean, you saw it after his reaction after the missed touchdown throw to Lawler. And that reaction to go right over to Nick Dembski and just say, hey, I'll get locked in. Don't worry.
The punt by Sheehan, and off to the left, and it is out of bounds, and it's got to be inside the 15 if it goes out of bounds. Otherwise, it's a penalty. You see the flag coming out against Jamison Sheehan, the Winnipeg punter. So that'll move the Alouettes for a fresh
punt
start.
Out of bounds. Winnipeg number 18. 10-yard penalty will be enforced from where the ball went out of bounds. First down.
Better field position for the Owls.
Think about the start of last season. The Alouettes went through new ownership, and they had to put together their team, lost some free agents in the process, and then, you know, they started out in that first 13 games at 6-7, but what a finish. Made a couple of moves, and you know, at the time, you knew they were good football players when they brought in Sean Lemon and Darnell Sankey at middle linebacker. You know, that just strengthened their defense. I know Sankey did a big inspirational speech with the team saying, you got everything you need to win here. Let's go get it done. And man, did they ever.
Sankey hasn't lost to a member of the Alouettes. Brought him in. What a difference. Running it now. That's Sean Thomas Erlington. Started his career, of course, with the Hamilton Tiger Hits. So his first carry back home with Montreal. Went to the University of Montreal. He's from that city, and the chance as a free agent to head back. So he gets the carry and the pickup and a second down coming up. Missed much of last season with injury. Played in only 11 games. Had just 88 yards rushing. Second down. Fajardo to the right. It is caught. It's close to a first down. Charleston Rambo, one of the new receivers for the Alouettes after the departure of Austin Mack. And Rambo is very close to an Alouette first down.
Well, he knows where the marker is, and that's important because he's going to stop up right in front of the marker and then just lunge forward. He knows exactly where it is to get it right against that first down marker.
3rd and inches, and Fajardo stayed in for that play. Sometimes they will, when they're not in as much a hurry, go with the short yardage quarterback, Caleb Evans, but they quickly move it and get the first down, so the sticks do move for the Alouettes.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers going with some young corners here, and they're getting tested. Cody Fajardo going right after him on the outside. Terrell Ford, number 30, and Terrell Bonds on the other side. Tyrell Ford and Bonds in the boundary.
Here we go on a 1st and 10. Handing off Walter Fletcher. And left side gets it up closer to the 50 in his 4th year at a Ball State. Went to Edinburgh College before that. Under 300 yards rushing last year, of course, when the Alouettes, the feature of the running game was William Stanback.
Now, Tyrell Ford is not, you know, a raw rookie. He's in his 2nd year, but he's not much playing time. So basically a rookie out there. And then on the other side, Terrell Bonds, as we've already mentioned, he's got that one knockdown or that one good coverage down the field. But when you get done game time, training camp is one thing. For corners in the game, they're backing up.
In the Montreal 48, they have Fajardo. He gets away for a moment, and then he is taken down. New addition to that defensive line, Devin Adams. The other 94, remember, it used to be Jackson Jeffcoat who retired, and Adams getting in on the act here.
Well, he gets there, but the guy who causes the problems is Willie Jefferson off the edge. He comes around the corner, takes a long way, and if you want to help out young corners, you know what you do? You get pressure on the quarterback. That's what Willie Jefferson gets it done right there. Flushes Cody Fajardo up into the middle.
Last play of the quarter and a punting situation for the Owls. Joseph Zima down near his 30. So Myron Mitchell bounces just shy of the 20, picks it up and is taken down immediately on the special teams coverage by Crevon LeBlanc. Princess Auto Stadium in Winnipeg. Game 1, 2024. 1 quarter in the books. Points off turnovers. Bomber field goal, and then the touchdown by Tyson Philpott in a 7-3 quarter and a 7-3 Alouette lead. It is the first quarter of the season, Glenn, but you do notice Zach Collaros 1 for 8 for only 8 yards. Not the kind of stuff or numbers we're used to seeing from him.
Yeah, you know, Cody Fajardo missed a throw or two, and most of the time offenses are a little bit behind the defenses to start a season. But yeah, Zach Collaros is off. He was off in the first quarter, missed some throws, had a chance for a couple of touchdown throws that he missed, one to Dalton Schoen, one to Lawler. So, you know, I don't think it's going to take long, but let's call it like it is. Zach Collaros is off in that first quarter.
Cody Fajardo's hasn't been perfect either. He threw an interception that led to the Bomber field goal. Then it was a fumbled punt return that led to give the short field to the Alouettes. And the touchdown pass from Fajardo to Tyson Philpott.
Oh, he's got him.
Fajardo, Collaros taken down. Derek Wigan His 10th year out of Queens, and of course, up until this season, known as a Calgary Stampeder, but coming over, and Wigan gets the sack as he celebrates on Zach Collaros.
Pressure will always trump coverage. They had a wide open Nick Dempsey. Stop it there. Wide open Nick Dempsey. But the pressure didn't allow Zach Collaros to get it out.
Didn't have time to get it to him.
Fucking want me.
So dumps it off to Oliveira. And he keeps his feet and gets some of that back, but not nearly enough. It'll be punting time for Winnipeg after now 2 sacks by the Alouettes on Collaros early in this game.
I think that pressure on Zach Collaros has been, you know, in the first quarter, a couple of those touchdown throws that he missed. I didn't see a whole lot of pressure there, but remember, there are some changes up front. Liam Dobson playing for Jeff Gray at guard, and we mentioned Eric Lofton playing for Jamarcus Hardrick. It's a Saskatchewan Rough Rider this year at right tackle.
The punt by Sheehan, and off to the left, but taken by Letcher, and a flag does come out. And catching the football, looks like no yards coming up here. So this is game 1. Week 1 will continue tomorrow. McMahon Stadium in Calgary, and look who's back. It'll be the first return for Bo Levi Mitchell as a member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats to take on his old understudy, Jake Mayer. That's Friday Night Football on TSN tomorrow. You'll be off to McMahon Stadium for that one.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, it feels weird that Bo is this first time back in Calgary. But boy, some great memories there. I had a chance to talk to him this week, and looking forward to that game tomorrow night. Jake Mayer, by the way, looks good. Really worked on the physical side of the game in the offseason.
Stamps looking for a bounce-back season with the new yards. Montreal starts inside the Winnipeg 40. Play fake, deep look, end zone, coverage there for Keon Julian Grant. No, that close as he got a little bit in behind, but just could not hang on and was running out of room as well.
You know, I think that's a great recovery by Tyrell Ford, the corner. We talked about these young corners, but you're going to see this deep post. It's layered. Philpott on the crossing route, and Julian Grant the deeper post, but a good close from number 30, Tyrell Ford, and he just pulls that right hand down. Doesn't allow the catch. He's battling out there.
The ball is at the Winnipeg 38. The Alouettes lead it 7-3. Second quarter. Fajardo. He takes off. Couldn't find anybody. On the run. Down inside the 30. And depending on where they spot this, it could be a first down on the legs of Fajardo for the Alouettes.
You know, don't forget that this is a big part of Cody Fajardo's game. Getting out and running for a first down. He's a great athlete when he gets out in the open field. You think back to last year's playoff run and the Grey Cup, big run in the Grey Cup for 13 yards on second down when they had 2nd and 18 in the final drive. But he rushed in that postseason for over 100 yards total.
The new defensive coordinator for Winnipeg is Jordan Younger. Richie Hall has stayed on as a defensive assistant, getting tested now at the 28 of the Bombers. And another deep shot, and Terrell Bonds is the closest to it for Winnipeg. They had the coverage there on Tyler Sneed. It looked like Bonds wanted a flag for OPI there.
Well, there is no question that Jason Moss and Cody Fajardo have looked at the depth chart and said, hey, we're going to take some shots on these young corners. Terrell Bonds in excellent position, looking back to the ball, not allowing Sneed to get through him to get to it. In fact, he wanted OPI, as you mentioned, but these two young corners are getting a lot of work. They're going to test them.
2nd and 10. Montreal at the Winnipeg 28. Flags out. Dumped off. Walter Fletcher. He cuts back, and a good run after he catches it. Looks like it's close to another first down.
Maybe, but it may come back. It looked like that flag was in the backfield. Love the call on 2nd and 10 to go screen, especially in plus territory when you're in field goal range by Jason Moss.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside, Montreal number 85. Roughing the passer, Winnipeg number 45.
Wow.
Will go 10 yards from the previous line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
So despite the offside against the Owls, they benefit overall 10 yards further up the field and a first down.
Getting that edge rushing position. Yeah, a bit of a high shot too. It looked like he got his hands up in the head area of Cody Fajardo. But he was trying to get to the ball, but you got to control where your arms and hands are, and you can't hit the quarterback in the head.
Celestin Haba flagged for that. First down now inside the 20, swinging it out. Fletcher. And again, good yardage after the carries. He has a long pickup on that first down. Second and short coming up for the Owls.
Cody Fajardo was saying to us this week that he feels so much more comfortable this time than he did this time last year in this system with Jason Maas. It can be difficult to learn. But they were even working on it Grey Cup week. Working on the playbook,
Amazing
working on the offense.
that.
Yeah, I mean, they worked on it all season long. And when they came into training camp this year, way ahead. And now just looking at the nuance of the playbook rather than the actual plays and the execution of it. And I think it shows. I mean, they have a game plan clearly to test the young corners, the Bomber defense. They've gone deep a couple of times out there, but going back with screen pass and some hitches to try and bring up the linebackers. The game plan, a nice one, and it looks like Cody Fajardo real comfortable in it.
And he got the first down, too, so a first and goal. Jeshrin Antwi is in the game. The Montreal running back, along with Sean Thomas Erlington. It's given to Thomas Erlington inside the 5. Second and goal coming up, but they're down to about the Bomber 3. Knocking on the door.
Just another reason it was such a remarkable finish to the year, and the Alouettes such underdogs going into that Grey Cup championship. They also had a bit of a chip on their shoulder for tonight, not playing this game at home.
They figured they're the champs.
Yeah.
They wanted to start at home, so yeah, I mean, hey, the us versus them stuff has been working for them so far. It certainly did last year. David Dallaire, the fullback, is in. Walter Fletcher, too, as they substitute running backs now. And a second and goal. Winnipeg 3. Fletcher, 3-2-1. And no signal as he got close. And a third down is coming up. And very short. He got it down inside the 1.
Not sure who came up with the hit. May have been the safety. Looked like it came from the secondary, anything, or anyway, Evan Holmes possibly got the push.
Caleb Evans in at quarterback. Third down, Evans, left side, turns around, touchdown. Flag is out on the Evans touchdown. Remember Caleb Evans in the Grey Cup last November, late in the half, when the Bombers defense denied him and kept it a 2-score game heading into halftime.
You got to find out what the flag is first. Looked like the ball crossed the plane before he was down by contact in our replays. And by the reaction of both teams, looks like that was a flag.
The previous play is under review by the command center.
Okay, well, we'll take another look at it.
So waiting on word from the flag. The Bombers, to your point, are setting up for a point after. David Cote is out.
Caleb Evans, interesting move here to spin back inside. Usually you're just trying to drive your way into the end zone. Oche there trying to make the stop. It's whether or not he was down by contact before the ball crossed the plane, because he spins around, so he show you the ball there.
Upon
hard to see.
review by the command center, rolling on the field stands, touchdown.
They'll always take a look, whether it's a potential score or a score, but very hard to.
Previous play, we had offside, Winnipeg number 94. That penalty is declined, touchdown.
There you go, offside Winnipeg, they'll decline that, but whether it's a potential score or a score, it'll automatically be reviewed. When it's reviewed, it's awful tough to overturn the call on the field when you're on the 1-yard line. There's just Too much humanity smashed in there.
Yeah, difficult to see. So Caleb Evans with the touchdown, and Cote in his 4th year out of Laval for the point after try, and he puts it through. So the Alouettes, who beat Winnipeg last November, are leading it so far in the first half, now 14-3. Of a short field after the no yards penalty on the punt return, and they made the most of it.
Big run there by Cody Fajardo on a second down play to get the first and keep the drive alive. Ends up going 9 plays, 38 yards. Takes up 4 minutes and 31 seconds. Quiets the crowd here and finishes the drive with a touchdown. The entire offense looks very confident.
Myron Mitchell on the return, and Winnipeg's in an early hole as he's hit hard right around inside the 30. So Collaros will come back on a beautiful night in southern Manitoba to kick off the 2024 season.
Open the doors of those boats, and those guys hit the beach. The greatest generation, and for a reason. Fighting for freedom and fighting for our democracy. And if you're watching the news lately, you have to work for that, and they paid the ultimate price. So
at Juno Beach, Glenn, and this means a lot to us, of course. My father landed on Juno Beach later in the day, and this is the Canadian contingent to the Prime Minister, and you see Prince William there as well, and greeting Canadian veterans. And so many served and sacrificed, and so many lives lost, but in the name of freedom. D-Day, 80 years ago today. I saw Mike O'Shea earlier, and this keeper by Chris Strettler in the second and 1 gets the first down. O'Shea, too, like you and I, very appreciative of military history. And
no question, and we honor the greatest generation that hit the beach that day, but also the men and women right now working in the Canadian Armed Forces.
Absolutely.
You know what's going on around the world, and thank you for everything you do for our country.
Thank you indeed. 80 years ago today, D-Day. Back here in Winnipeg, and midway through the second quarter, it's 14-3 Montreal. And the Winnipeg 43 on a 1st and 10 after the Strettler carry. And the Brady Oliveira. And he gets the push. Gets it up across the Bomber 50, setting up a second down and short.
Well, the Bombers went to the sideline, and I'm sure they got together offensively and said, let's go back to bread and butter. Let's go back to Oliveira. And let's settle in, get the O-line settled in. The way you do that is have them drive off the ball. That's Buck Pierce, the offensive coordinator, up calling the plays. I'm sure he went down to the office and said, guys, let's get back to what we do really well. Run the ball on first down, get the good push up front, let our guys settle in, and then we go to play action after that.
Chris Strettler is in now. We wondered how Buck Pierce will use these two quarterbacks. Of course, Collaros #1, but having that Strettler option now, and a situation like this in a second and short, he does hand off to Oliveira. It looks like he might have just enough. Be very close to another Winnipeg first down.
Take a look at the options and how this will put the defense in a bind. With you got a guy that can run like Strettler, Oliveira going one way, and Strettler can make the choice there to either pull it or give it to Oliveira. That time he gave it to him, but he can pull it too, so you have to stay strong on the backside defensively against that kind of play.
There were 2 instances in 2018 and 19 when Matt Nichols, the starting quarterback, got hurt and Strettler became the starter in Winnipeg. They got Collaros as really as for an emergency basis because of all their injured quarterbacks in 2019, and that memorable playoff run, they worked together. Collaros ultimately leading them to the Grey Cup title, but Strettler had a hand in that too. Threw a touchdown in the Grey Cup to Andrew Harris. Completes that one to Kenny Lawler, and the Feast Lion is there to stop him in his tracks, but not before they are close to another first down.
Well, they get Lawler in motion in the backfield, but again, play action. So a couple of runs to Brady Oliveira. Now the fake to Oliveira, hold the defense, keep the linebackers in tight, and then fling it out there to Kenny Lawler.
So a good gain on first, but a second and short. As you see Lawler there, didn't quite get the first down, and Strevler is back in.
Well, we'll call him short yardage plus right now.
He had a playoff game 5 years ago. All he did was run when he came in. And he runs there. Needed about a yard.
Sankey went over the top. Sankey and Brady Oliveira are going to match up a bunch here in this one tonight. Oliveira, when you think of last season, you mentioned leading rusher in the league, all Canadian, outstanding Canadian when award day came around, and was first in every important rushing category, and a finalist for outstanding player.
And a first down there. Brady Oliveira. In the Grey Cup last year, he had over 100 yards, 19 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown for Winnipeg, as they had led early in Hamilton last fall. So Strevler had come in, got the first down. Collaros in again, handing off Oliveira. And just inside the 45.
Center Chris Kolinkowski is going to get a block on Sankey on this one, and that's what the Bombers, to get that run game really going, are going to have to do. Get to that second level, and Darnell Sankey, the run stopper in the middle, great leader on that defense too. See, he's got to deal with a lineman now. You deal with an offensive lineman, that's kind of big on big up front. Well, big on big is truly offensive line against defensive line, but when you're talking Sankey at 240 and 6'1", it's big on big with middle linebacker too.
Sure is. 2nd and 7 at the 44. Collaros over the middle. It is caught. Dalton Schoen has a catch in this game. Schoen, one of the top receivers in the Canadian Football League in each of his 2 seasons in it. And a first down there for Winnipeg.
He takes a hit too from Marc-Antoine Dequoy here, who times that up real nice, but Dalton Schoen hangs on.
Remember the Grey Cup last year, we didn't think he'd play.
Yeah, had the ankle and really slowed him down, but he caught all 3 in his direction.
Had 3 catches for 36 yards, and you're right, he's not at 100%. So the Bombers are moving on offense. They're down.
Most of our panel tonight,
yes.
Farhan Lalji, who's going into the media wing of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Well deserved. Congratulations, Farhan.
Well deserved,
as
my
is
friend.
Steve Daniel.
Yes.
Very important. He's going in.
The stats man for the Canadian Football League, Marc-Antoine Dequoy. He's getting it started in week 1 with an interception in the end zone to take some points off the board for the Bombers. How many times have we seen Dequoy do that? He had a pick 6 here in Winnipeg a year ago.
I'll tell you what, he has got tremendous range. Now this is into the boundary with the hash mark, because you're on that short side hash mark. Doesn't have to cover quite as much space as if it was down the middle, but no, you got help. Drop that one because it's his own look, but Marc-Antoine Dequoy coming from the middle of the field all the way to the sideline. Another pick. He had a big one right here last year for a touchdown.
He had 5 interceptions in all in 2023. He had an interception for a touchdown in the East Final against the Argos that changed the whole tone of that game. And now Montreal takes over thanks to another turnover made by Winnipeg.
Well, he's a finalist out of the East for outstanding Canadian. You think back to last year, this was against the Bombers, cutting underneath that crossing route, took it back to the house. He had 3 pick sixes, one against Winnipeg, that one against the Bombers. Against the Argos, took one back to the house too. And how about in the playoff game against Toronto?
Yeah.
Big interception right there. Yeah, so, you know, I mean, finalist for outstanding Canadian, the best safety in the CFL is going into this season.
That one against the Argos was so huge. It was early, but Toronto was driving for a touchdown. Instead, it changed everything. So Collaros intended there for Walter Fletcher. It falls a little low and short. On a 3rd down now coming up. So a 2-and-out after the turnover, but the Alouettes get to kick it away to Myron Mitchell and the Bombers and have them start over again.
A little quiet.
Yeah, I was going to say great crowd. You expect that, but
it's a beautiful crowd.
But they
Great
are
crowd.
a little subdued the way this first half has gone, to be sure. Joseph Zima from Melbourne, Australia. And angling it off to the right, which he does so well. It bounces back. And Mitchell has to track it down. He does, just inside the 20. Or he is taken down, and defense coming back on for Montreal. The Alouettes. Shout out to our friend Dave Moyer, who's watching in Calgary. Dave has been doing stats for the CFL on TSN for decades, and we wish you could be here, and we wish you all the best, pal.
Yeah, battling cancer right now, and keep with the battle, big boy, because you got your whole team behind you.
All the best. Get well, Dave.
That's his nickname. He always comes, hey, big boy.
Big boy always says it.
Yeah.
So you take care, and we'll see you later this season. Chris Streveler in now for Winnipeg. On first down, faking the toss to Oliveira, he keeps it. And so we'd seen Streveler earlier in second and short situations, this time coming in on a 1st and 10 as Buck Pierce continues to mix it up in that Bomber offense.
Well, you know, it's the idea there, I think, for Buck Pierce is get into second and medium. You know, need to string together some first downs, because this is a half of football for Zach Collaros that I have not seen in probably 3 or 4 years. He's just off, and it's, you know, not just him, it's a whole unit, but
5 for 11, 46 yards and a pick, and the 2nd and 5, he completes that one. And that's caught by Kevins Clarcius, one of their top draft picks. Clarcius coming out of UConn. He's from Montreal and gets his first CFL catch there.
It looks like a big boy in that corner. Clarcius sounds like a Roman emperor.
Kevins Clarcius. Well, to hear Marshall Ferguson talk about him on our CFL draft coverage, he had the strongest grip. They do measure grip strength.
Yeah.
And Marshall was saying he tested more than any lineman, more than anyone. And the thinking being special teams, yes, but who knows what kind of a talented CFL receiver it could be too. So
the Bombers have to get their offense on track, and you know they had that little spurt there where they got Brady Oliveira involved, got the run game going, went to some play action, hit Lawler. I think Zach Collaros went 4 for 4 in that little span, and then threw the interception. So interception, the timing looked off, and obviously the throw as well. But great play by Marc-Antoine Duquois on that one.
Clarcius in, and he's out wide right. 2nd down and 6. Collaros looks off to the left, and it's caught. It's another first down. Drew Wolotarski was his first catch in 2024.
Wow. Some heavy trash talk in there. After a first down catch. Trying to get himself fired up.
1st and 10 at the 51. Faking to Oliveira, dumping it off to Nick Dembski. So he has a catch across midfield too in that first down play, setting up a 2nd and short as the Bombers are in tempo. They are up at the line right now with under a minute to play here until halftime.
Been a better play, but Ruffin came on the blitz. He's coming again off the halfback.
2nd and 3 on the ground. Oliveira, first down, driving down. And more impressive look from this Winnipeg offense finally now as they get it close to the Alouette 45.
Trying to grab a little momentum. Just their offense kick-started here just before the half. And get a chance to maybe call a couple plays in the huddle with an injury to one of the Alouettes. It's Richards.
Tyrell Richards, who start Montreal's visit. We talked about Duquois having a pick 6. In the opening possession for Winnipeg, back in the last visit in August by Montreal, there was a fumble and Richards picked it up and took it in for a touchdown. The Alouettes scored 17 points in that game, and the points coming from defense. They had 2 defensive touchdowns, but that was Richards there. And Farhan Lalji sitting in for Kate Burness along with newcomer Enoch Mwamba, said new member of the band, and Davis Sanchez and Milt Stiegel, who didn't crack the Bomber squad. Thought 85 was going to do it.
Hey, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that later.
3-man rush gets it away.
That's nice one.
And it is caught by Dalton Schoen.
Yeah, that's a confidence builder. All of a sudden, little jump in his step there as Kolar's trying to call the next play on the line of scrimmage. He's getting up there close now. But this is a confidence building throw. Wide side out. Remember when Cody Fajardo did it? That got him started.
Here comes Winnipeg and tripped up. Just at the line there. That is Reggie Stubblefield, another guy who really made a name for himself in 2023, managing to trip up Brady Oliveira.
How about his Eastern final against the Argos? Double figures in tackles, had an interception in that game.
Great addition to that Owls defense last year. Blitz coming. Collaros gets rid of it. Looks to the end zone. No, just knocked away. Deontay Ruffin. Just when it looked like it was heading into the hands of Dalton Schoen, Ruffin to the rescue to prevent a Bomber touchdown.
Well, the Bombers have everything they want offensively. Full blitz coming from the Montreal Alouettes, but they have it blocked up. Brady Oliveira stays back. They got the deep post to the middle. There's no Dequoy in the middle. They got all that they want, and Schoen in behind covers the ball, thrown right where it had to be. But one little fly in the ointment was Deontay Ruffin, who closed in a hurry and got the knockdown. Wow.
He started on the corner in the Grey Cup and playing more inside now, and what a brilliant play. Noel Thorpe loves his versatility. In his third year out of Western Kentucky, big defensive play in the field goal try. It goes wide, but the ball nearly got coughed up there by Letcher. Well, the Alouettes catch a break there. That could have been a Bomber touchdown, but Castillo with the miss on that short field goal try.
That was quite a close by Ruffin. We'll get back to that, but let's just take a look at this field goal again, because I thought it hit the post, but it didn't. Now it's live. Letcher made this interesting, didn't he?
Did he ever? Could have let it go, tried to pick it up and touch the ball, and then had to ultimately get it before the Bombers did. So Montreal lucky only 1 point is on the board. Let's 1 point more for Winnipeg.
Let's go back to Deontay Ruffin's closing speed.
The play is under review by the command center.
Dalton Schoen is the adjuster on the blitz. He sees full blitz, so he goes right to the hole to the middle. Deontay Ruffin is almost baiting him to throw it, and then closes that last 4 or 5 yards in a hurry to get the knockdown. What a play defensively. Had to show you that once more. Now, I'm not sure what they're trying to see, if whether or not this was a safety. Did he come out of the end zone with possession and then go back in, or was he just trying to gain possession? I'm not sure he came out.
Well, his feet came out, but did he have the ball? Watch his feet.
I'm not sure he has possession, or that the ball is out of the end zone.
Right. So the Bombers are saying this should be 2 points, not 1. It is a safety if he's taken the ball, if he has the ball outside the end zone and goes back in. So
well, this is an interesting one, because the call on the field is that they gave up a safety.
So they called a safety.
Yes.
So they take a look at it, and is there anything to overturn that? Here's the announcement.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. The ball carrier went out of goal and got back into goal on his own. It is a safety touch for Winnipeg.
I can't remember too many times in all the years watching football that a team went for 3 and ended up getting 2.
That's a good point. Been doing this a few years, and
yeah. That's a first for me.
Something new all the time, and it's good to see that Stubblefield is okay and went to the side. He was hurt on the play, but it was ruled a safety, and the on-field officials felt like Letcher had come out of the end zone with control and then was tackled in the end zone. That's a safety, and that also means the Bombers get the ball back, although not a lot of time to do anything with it, but possibly a return.
Just 6 seconds on the clock until halftime. And they are able to bring the offense on in this situation now and scrimmage. So one deep shot.
Yeah, that's right. You have the option to play offense as well. So Collaros will go out and possibly take a shot, loading up the left side.
There we go. Off to the left. And just trying to work a little closer with a second ago. Dembski has it now to bounds, so they'll have one more play to run. No, they bring it back to the 40, so ruling he was out. Just take a knee now. Bombers with a tiny little winning streak going in recent years in their opening game at home, but they have some work to do now as they will head to the dressing room. Halftime, 14-5. Montreal leads, in part because of this.
Well, we finished last season with a Tyson Philpott touchdown from Montreal, and we start this season in the first quarter with a touchdown from Tyson Philpott.
Still carrying the memory of that Grey Cup winner with just seconds to go at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. Then he gets a touchdown in this game and standing by now with John Lou.
Would you describe the feeling of opening the season with a touchdown after ending last season in most dramatic fashion?
Yeah, hey man, just credit to Cody, credit to the O-line. We're just doing what we were supposed to do. Coach drew up a great play and then we scored. That's about it.
Speaking about doing what you wanted to do, in all three phases of the game you had execution and efficiency and rhythm. How much does that measure up to how you wanted to start this game?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, we talk about being three phases of the game, and once all three phases are kicking, then we're running with it, and we're just happy that we got a lead going into the second half, and it's 0-0 coming out of here, so we'll be ready to go.
Thanks for this, Tyson.
Thank you.
Send it back to you, Farhan.
Sometimes the stats can be a little bit misleading. Bombers have more first downs, more yards passing, more yards rushing, and more time of possession, and yet are behind on the scoreboard, settling for a safety and a field goal, while the Alouettes have scored two majors.
Nick Dembski has one catch on 4 targets for 7 yards. Here he is now with John Lou.
Nick, your offense found traction in that final possession of the first half. What can we expect to see in the second half based on what you discovered in this final minute or two?
Yeah, I mean, we got to do better. That's the only answer there. Not what to expect, it's what we're going to do. We're going to come out here and we're going to play better football.
Chris Streveler seemed to really pick up where he left off from his previous stint in Winnipeg, and the fans certainly gave him a warm return in that his first possession in the first half. What did you think about his first half?
Yeah, I know Strev. He's physical. He wants to run that thing. He wants to talk with his pads. So it's great to have him back out here, and it's great that he's running physically like that.
Thanks for this, Nick.
Thanks.
I like it. Just got to play better.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, I'm sure they all looked in the mirror right there, including number 8, and said, you know what, we got to play better because we can't rely on just short yardage. Although that little spurt where they did look pretty good offensively, they were running the ball well on first down. Streveler was part of that series.
They had a couple of drives. The second half gets underway where they were close, but just only came up with 2 points all in all. And that's James Letcher getting it up across the 35. So Cody Fajardo, 5 for 11 for 48 yards, a touchdown and a pick, getting set to start the second half.
Yeah, but he took some deep shots. You know, I mean, threw a couple of touchdowns, threw one to Tyson Philpott. That was a real accurate throw to get him on track. They were really testing the corners, the young corners for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers here. There was a touchdown, a couple of runs by Cody. But those shots can pay off in the second half, can loosen up the secondary.
Just 84 yards of net offense for the Alouettes, but a couple of touchdowns with short fields to work with. Handing off now to Walter Fletcher. He has nowhere to go. He has lost yardage with lots of blue coming in to greet him.
Yeah, I guess. Jamal Woods, rotation defensive tackle. Watch him just step up and get in the backfield. He's back there with Cody Fajardo on this play. Pulling guard, pulled right past 91.
But a lot of change in the inside at one tackle position in particular to rotate them in. And Remember Stephen Richardson a few years ago, the Stove, and Casey Sales, and last year Ricky Walker. All gone, so a change in the inside of that Bomber D. Celestin Haba trying to put some pressure on Fajardo, who gets rid of it, and wide open is Tyler Sneed. A big first down to start this second half for Sneed and the Alouettes.
This is coming back, Ron. I think it's going to come back for a holding call on the edge.
Holding Montreal, number 65. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
The new right tackle, Josh Donovan, is flagged for the hold, negating a big play for the Owls.
And it was Haba. You mentioned him coming off the edge, and watch us get Donovan getting his right hand underneath the chin and just pulling Haba to the ground. He looked right at the ref as he saw the flag fly and threw his hands in the air. Guilty as charged.
Negated a 35-yard gain, instead pushed 10 yards back. Second and 23. Fajardo flushed out of the pocket, being chased, and just throws it out of bounds.
Celestin Haba's causing some problems, and he's got the punt team out there for the Alouettes. It's back-to-back plays where 45 stepped up and made a difference. He draws the holding call on first down, puts Cody Fajardo in second and a bunch. Now he demands a chip from the back in Walter Fletcher. So that slows Fletcher from getting out into the patterns, and then runs Cody Fajardo out of bounds. He has to throw it away.
Kyrie Wilson in there. So Fajardo on the sidelines now with Joseph Zima standing at his 10 for Myron Mitchell, the new returner, and a nice punt by Zima. He takes it around the 42. Mitchell. Good special teams coverage there by the Alouettes with LeBlanc in on the tackle. Let's go back to John.
Yeah, Rod, the Bombers have sustained a blow to their offense. Kenny Lawler sustained an upper body injury in the first half. He will not return tonight.
That's a big one.
One of their top receivers who played only 2/3 of the season last year and still had close to 1,000 yards receiving.
That track tape crew has got the injury. That was late in the first half. Favoring that right hand.
John said he is done for the day. That is caught. No. In and out of the hands of Michael Chris Ike, another one of their top draft picks taken in the second round. Getting the start at fullback and his first target there, but does not hang on.
Interesting player when you look at Chris Ike, because our draft expert Dwayne Ford said in the draft show that he's like an action figure. That was an interesting way to describe this guy. He is built. Drop that one and get another chance as this game goes on.
Tested very well at the combine. They set up a screen. Dembski has it. Midfield and more. Nick Dembski loses the football, and the Alouettes have it. The Bombers appear to have turned it over again. Yes, indeed. Montreal football after a nice catch and run for Nick Dembski in frustration as he'll be heading off. Well, they're still fighting over the ball. Looked like Alouette possession, and they had signaled that it's gone to Montreal, but now they're still trying to sort it out. Najee Murray in the mix there as well. Yes, it is still a Montreal football. So more frustration in this opener for Mike O'Shea and the Bombers. Punched out nicely. Recovered by the Owls. And they lead it 14-5.
Dembski of the football.
In his short time last year with the Owls, he had a lot of big plays like that. Fajardo. Deep ball again. Down for Sneed. He's got it. Tyler Sneed gets to keep that big catch and gets it down inside the 20, down around the 15-yard line for Sneed in his second year of East Carolina.
Well, they put 3 to the wide field, so that's a trips formation. Sneed's going to run just a little wheel down the sideline, and he gets him behind the corner again down there, dropping back. That deep outside third, well, actually it was Evan Holmes, a halfback, who dropped back corner in the flat. But now he's in a chase position. Sneed gets him behind. They're going after those outside corners.
Gets it all the way down to the 17. He's limping now after that big play of 47 yards. Here comes Montreal. They have the lead, looking for more. Up to the right, it is caught. Tyson Philpott, the Grey Cup hero, with that catch in November, and he got the first touchdown of the season for the Alouettes earlier tonight. That one a shorter catch. It'll be second and long coming up.
Sometimes you don't have to just throw a shake and bake move on. You can just get to your spot quickly. That was a speed cut by Philpott.
Pick up 4. It's a 2nd and 6. Early second half. Bombers in a spot at home they're certainly not used to. They are trailing by 9 against the team that beat them in the Grey Cup last fall. Alouettes. Fajardo. He keeps it. Gets it down to about the 12, just inside. Still not enough for a first down, and it would appear the field goal unit. And David Cote will be coming on to see if they can put 3 more on the board.
Almost a spy-looking defense for Winnipeg. They have Haba stay off the line of scrimmage, rush 3, and be patient with Cody Fajardo on that second down play.
Bombers were 8-1 at home last season. They rarely lose in this stadium. Still lots of time here. Montreal trying to make it 17-5, and with Cote, pumps it through, and they do. So the lead up to 12 points. Opening night. Last 4 seasons have gone for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, beating Hamilton in 2019. Jake Thomas celebrating that Grey Cup win, ending a long drought in 2021. There was no 20 season. They went to overtime, beating Hamilton again dramatically at Tim Hortons Field. The next year, trying to make it 3 in a row. Mark Leggio, the kick blocked by Robbie Smith, the Argos, stunned them and denied the three-peat. And then last year, back in Hamilton, Tyson Philpott and the Grey Cup winning catch once again, Glenn, in the last seconds, and Winnipeg is denied again.
Well, yeah, and you know, I start to think maybe a bit of a theory as to the slow start here in this game for the Bombers tonight, because losing in the final seconds of back-to-back Grey Cups, that doesn't sit well. In fact, when we talked to him, we asked Zach, we talked about it off the top, about, you know, the off season and dealing with that kind of a loss in the championship game, and he just in a few words said, yeah, not good. And maybe they're in their own heads a little bit. Strevler, by the way, was playing a different position on that last run.
Collaros is in at quarterback. Strevler is on the field, so a different wrinkle here. And the handoff gets messed up and nearly fumbled. So that's lost yardage. Isaac Adeyemi Berglund, the former Stampeder, newcomer to Montreal, is in there. If something went wrong in the exchange with Collaros and Brady Oliveira.
Well, it's that ride and decide play, and Collaros has a chance to put it in the belly of Oliveira, but he's still making a decision. He hasn't decided yet, and he wants to pull it. Looks like he's a little unsure as to whether or not to leave it for Oliveira. Oliveira's just going to wait with eyes up and then take it if he has it, but he didn't have it.
The punt from Sheehan. Fletcher has it inside the 25, goes left, finds some room down the sidelines and spins around to stay inbounds, and knocked down ultimately by one of the great special teams players for Winnipeg, Nick Hallett, takes him down.
One thing, great features of Canadian football is the return game and the special teams, and that was a big run to get some nice field position and to bounce back from that bit of an adventure on that attempted field goal late in the half there.
Hallett finishes it off. Fletcher, he got it started. 4 games left in the regular season. He returned a punt, a missed field goal, and then both for touchdowns, and then he had a kickoff return touchdown in the Eastern Final, changing the momentum against the Argonauts. 1st and 10, Alouette 45, and yeah, flags coming out with the snap of that ball and the offside.
Way offside there. Rambo is trying to go in waggle motion. Remember, when you're coming up as a newcomer, as a rookie receiver there in Rambo, you got to learn all the motions, and that's one of the complicated parts of a Jason Maas offense. Is outside of the actual execution of the plays in the playbook, there's pre-snap motion all
Montreal
over the place. Now most teams do it.
That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
So learning a difficult playbook, not unique to Montreal, but it certainly is there. And Rambo was about 8 yards offside on that.
One of the new receivers for the Alouettes, and they had a bunch of them last year, namely Tyler Snead, and of course Austin Mack. 2nd and 8, 47. Fajardo completes it to Keon Julian Grant, keeps his feet, and they blow the whistle. If they say he stayed in bounds, that'd be enough for a first down for the Alouettes. It is indeed, as the Sticks are on the move.
Julian Grant, nice crossing route. Now Fajardo, without looking at Grant, waits till he crosses through the line of scrimmage, through the linebacking core to get outside. Just stepped on the white stripe. Right there.
Which was just enough for a first down. Product of St. Effects, Keon Julian Grant. His 2nd catch of the night. 1st and 10. That is caught too. Another completion. The fullback, David Dallaire, out of Laval in his 2nd year. And that pickup on 2nd down, or on 1st down, sets him up with about 3 or 4 to go.
Wonder too how much the Bombers miss Adam Big Hill, and not just his skill set in that middle linebacker spot, but also his leadership.
He went on the 6th game a couple of weeks ago, and they're hoping he can be back earlier. But yeah, you're missing someone like Adam Big Hill. That hurts too. With time, Fajardo. Willie Jefferson couldn't get to him. More heat coming. He does get it away, and coming in there is Tyrell Ford, who nearly had a pick intended for Tyson Philpott.
Well, you know, you got to admire these young corners that are battling, and you got to see that. I mean, they're going to give up some plays. They're new. They're going to back off a little bit. You know, they're probably not going to take any, not calling them chances, but where you have watched enough video that you can take an educated guess and jump a play. They're not going to do that in their first game in the CFL, but they're battling back.
Ford, his twin brother Trey, of course, quarterback in Edmonton. The Elks getting set to start off at home on Saturday against the Riders. Zima way off to the right. Gets a nice roll, but a little too nice as it heads into the end zone as Mitchell just watches it. He wanted to have a little spin to keep it down inside the 5. Instead, a point on the board for Winnipeg, still trailing. Women's final Saturday on TSN. So another point on the board for the Alouettes on the single on the punt by Joseph Zemas. And the Bombers take over from their 40, and it's Brady Oliveira on the carry on 1st down.
Patience on that last run. He's getting back limping a little bit back in that huddle. Talked to him about his off-season training, and I said, how long did you rest up after a long season? He said, week and a half.
That's a long time for him.
And then back in the gym.
Quickly to Dembski on the sweep. I think Winnipeg used this play so well before, but that time they end up shy of the 1st down. Just a couple of yards for Dembski.
Boy, that's amazing reaction and speed from a defensive end in Sean Lemon, the veteran, to read this and take an inside pass rush move and then redirect and catch Matt Dembski.
Again, if you're wondering about Lemon, who was suspended and had retired, he's appealing a gambling suspension, and until that appeal is heard, he is allowed to keep playing. So he had a sack earlier, and then a big defensive play there tonight for the Owls. On the 3rd down and 2, they are punting. Winnipeg is. Jamison Sheehan standing just inside the 35. Sails a high punt for James Letcher. Cody Fajardo. This Tyson Philpott with just seconds to go to win it. What a difference a year makes for Grey Cup champion Cody Fajardo, John Lou.
Yeah, indeed, Rod. Cody Fajardo, after the rough end to his stint in Saskatchewan, said that he dedicated his first year in Montreal last season to the people who supported him and stuck by him through his tough years, primarily his family. But now that he is a Grey Cup champion, Fajardo says that this year he's focusing on validating his place in the game, that he wants to be consistent, wants to go for another championship because he feels like that'll be part of his legacy, that he's going to be considered a Grey Cup champion forever, and that's something that he felt that people didn't believe could happen for him, but he proved the doubters wrong, Rod.
And John, we just saw the combination of Fajardo to Philpott again. They connected earlier for a touchdown, and of course, can never take that one away back in November with just 13 seconds on the clock.
Well, that drive was so good, so dramatic. Fajardo with a 13-yard run on 2nd and 18. And then with time running out to find Philpott. Unreal.
Off to the left. That is caught by Philpott again.
So he runs for 13 in the final drive, and you remember it well. Called it well. And then does this on 3rd and 5. Like, come on. Come on.
That was just crazy.
Goes deep to Speaker on 3rd and 5. Converts it, says it was his best throw of the night.
It was 31 yards, and we all thought they're just going to try to get close to see if they could get a field goal to tie it.
Yeah.
Instead, they went for it. And that was it. That was ball game. Then, of course, the next play was the touchdown. This time, they're 2 and out. It's Mitchell with it. New returner for Winnipeg. And the rookie, Jeffrey Cantaraku, drafted in the first round by Montreal on special teams, coming out of Memphis, and highly regarded. He was taken 9th overall.
During the return, illegal block, Winnipeg number 25, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So boy, one of the great special teamers of all time, the all-time leader in special teams tackles, Mike Miller, and now a coach and special teams coordinator for Winnipeg.
Yeah, here's what I want to teach you guys. I'm going to put up some Mike Miller highlight reels. Go ahead and watch me cover. First guy down every time, it felt like.
What a playing career he had. From the 27, first down. It's caught. Dalton Schoen with it.
You know, I think it should be said that Noel Thorpe's defense tonight is one of the main reasons that Zach Collaros, a former MOP, Brady Oliveira, the leading rusher last year, and this Bomber offense has not looked normal, has not looked like a Bomber offense of the last 4 years. Part of that is the way this defense plays. They had 48 takeaways in the regular season. That was 2nd in the league. Had 4 sacks, an interception, and a fumble recovery in the Grey Cup game.
And it continues. An opening night under 150 yards of net offense. Chris Strebler running with it there. But I don't know if he got that first down. It'd be very close, but no, it's been a confident defense, and one that just progressively under Noel Thorpe got better and better. And that Eastern final, when they forced 9 turnovers of the Argos, a team that far and away led in terms of turnover ratio all season, that defense really stood up. A big reason why they've got a Grey Cup ring in 2023. So 148 yards net for the Bombers, with Strebler in on a 3rd down and about a foot away. He keeps it, gets it, and more. Strebler still moving, taken down by Stubblefield, and he's angry. Didn't like the way Stubblefield had taken him down and is favoring his right leg.
He thought he got the business as Stubblefield was on the ground, maybe twisted his ankle or something. He's limping off a little bit and was not happy. That's just a straight tackle there. Oh, it was that he was holding on in that twist late. I think Strebler has a bit of an argument. That's a tackle now. You can let go now. He's down by contact, but he gives him another twist. when he's down on the ground. No penalty flag.
Claris back in at quarterback. He completes a big one over the middle to Drew Wolotarski. And a first down in the Alouette zone.
Well, you never know what could be the catalyst to bring the team together and get things going and grab some momentum, and maybe that shot on Streveler will be just what the Bombers need. Pretty good composure for Zach Collaros. Step up in the pocket there.
25-yard pickup. Wolotarski. And a first down for Winnipeg. Stubblefield now is the injured player. And he was the one that Streveler was so upset with for the way he tackled him and hung on after he was down. Reggie Stubblefield.
Well, yeah, and I'll say Reggie Stubblefield is probably looking at supplementary discipline after that hit on Streveler, who has been limping around the sideline, is getting attended to by the trainers.
Still quite upset, and Stubblefield now the one down in his second year at a Kansas State. Went to the same school as Dalton Schoen and had a great first season with the Alouettes, emerging as their cover linebacker, taking that spot after an injury to Najee Murray, and really embraced it. And he was part of that great performance by the Alouettes defense late in the season and into the playoffs.
But you can't do what he did.
Oh, before, definitely not on
Streveler. No,
yeah,
you can't.
Streveler's, you can tell, is visibly still fired up. I mean, thankfully not limping, and grabs a ball and looks like he wants to get back in there, but quite angry.
I didn't see what happened to Stubblefield.
Card coming out. As it's Murray in there with Kevion Ento to see if they can help out as well. As it is looking at this point like Stubblefield's day is done. Just a play after he was cast the villain by Streveler. So putting some weight on his feet now and getting the pat in the back from his teammates. He's helped out.
Take a look at how he got injured here. Reggie Stubblefield is coming on a blitz, and he comes inside. He gets picked up there, turns, and then goes down. So it wasn't a non-contact. Grabs the right knee. It wasn't a non-contact injury. He did get hit by that offensive. I think it was Eric Lofton.
Eric Lofton got him up high.
Eric Lofton got him as he got inside there, but it was just the way the foot planted in the turf. Good pickup by Lofton and a clean hit. It's unlucky for Stubblefield.
Who heads off late in this third quarter. 35 seconds to go. Montreal leading it by 13 points. The Bombers with the ball and on the move down to the Alouette 37. And the backup Sam linebacker Bryce Cosby, number 30, is in there now for Stubblefield. Cosby in his first year at a Ball State. Try it with the Raiders last year. Three-man pressure, dumped off to Oliveira.
Go
and
right at
down, yeah, shy of the 30. They go right at him.
Go right at Cosby. Got a newcomer in there, guy in his first year. He's playing right near the line of scrimmage. Flare the back out and Brady Oliveira, and Cosme steps up, makes the tackle.
So Oliveira gets 5. 2nd and 5 coming up in what will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. It's again a 3-man rush. Lots of time. Collaros. Pressure coming. Adeyemi Berglund nearly got him. He does get it away, but it sails out of bounds, incomplete, and a 3rd and 5 to start the 4th quarter for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're at home to start a new season. 4 straight West Division titles, but in tough right now against the team that beat them in the Grey Cup last November. Montreal Alouettes heading into the final 15. Matcher, they don't like it that way, but there is some carryover here, Glenn, and that's how good Montreal's defense has been against Winnipeg's offense.
Well, they have. I mean, every time it seemed that the Bombers and Zach Collaros would get something going, the Alouettes would generate a turnover. They got 3 so far with the 4th quarter to go, but I don't think it's over. This is a veteran team. This is the oldest team in average age in the CFL, in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and they're not done yet. They got a quarter to go in striking range, and the task on the road for Jason Moss's crew is to finish.
And Sergio Castillo is out to see if they can put 3 on the board and get a little bit closer right now as this 4th quarter begins. He missed a field goal try earlier that turned out to be a safety. Letcher took it out and went back in again. So 18-5. This is to make it 18-8 in a 10-point game from just inside the 40. For Castillo, he is wide left again, and that one sails right out. So the 2nd miss for Sergio Castillo, normally quite reliable, as mentioned, over 90% last year he had clicked on. So that's just 1 point on the board now, and an 18-6, still 12-point lead for the Alouettes.
Jamison Sheehan is the holder. We'll take a look at the hold. Looks like the hold was where it was supposed to be. I didn't see. Often, if the hold is off, the kicker will look directly at the holder immediately after the kick.
And this is from a guy who used to hold. You held for Dave Ridgway in Saskatchewan. One of the most famous field goals in Grey Cup history.
I got that look a couple of times.
Yeah.
What do you think you're doing with that?
Cody Fajardo, 12-point lead, 4th quarter. And Tyson Philpott, and good yardage after the carry for Philpott. Now that's his 5th catch of the night.
Number 1 in the CFL last year, and when you take a look at his completion percentage and how close it was to the 09 season with his OC Anthony Calvillo.
As Fajardo just keeps it on the 1-yard carry, and there he is, one of the greats of all time. And the Alouettes had a 13-year drought after Calvillo. The Alouettes had won back-to-back in 09 and 10. Didn't win again until Fajardo was quarterback last year.
Different guys, but Cody Fajardo, he took some sacks, wanted to protect the football, but that completion percentage, outstanding. Number 1 in the league.
And Calvillo, number 1 all-time in passing yards in CFL history. Here comes Willie Jefferson, and in a hurry, dumped off to Walter Fletcher, but the Alouettes go backwards there.
Yeah, it looks like the veteran Willie Jefferson was just, it's almost like on this play said, I've had enough. He's coming from the left corner of your screen, and he's going to beat the fullback, a tailback. Watch Jefferson come around the edge here. He's going to beat a couple of them. One to the outside, another to the outside. You're not going to stop him. And it just rushes the play for Cody Fajardo, and they don't have a shot to execute.
And number 5 has been a nightmare for Cody Fajardo over the years, especially going back to Fajardo's days with the Riders. And that rivalry between Saskatchewan and Winnipeg. Fajardo knows him well. 3-man rush. Fajardo just decides to run it. Brandon Alexander quickly coming in, the safety, and takes him down out of bounds. Alouettes want a flag, and they get one.
Late flag. I think like Brandon Alexander made a good clean tackle. the Alouettes thought there was some extra stuff, or did Alexander get the face mask of Fajardo?
Face mask. Winnipeg number 37. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
So the hand came in, just glanced the face mask, but enough for the flag on Fajardo, or on Alexander on Fajardo. Another look.
You see the reach and the helmet go forward.
Just for a moment before the arms came down, but right there.
Yeah.
Just touched it. And went down. Penalty. Big one, too. Fletcher gets it inside the Winnipeg 40.
Yeah, it was quick, but there's no sort of time limit for if you get to the mask. I mean, if you get the mask, you put it in the hands of the official. Bombers were off the field there. And that's not a penalty. I mean, that's the penalty that happens. It's just... That's not a bad decision by Alexander, is my point.
Well, the many thousand in the stands don't like it. They're still expressing their dismay. Jillian Brandt on that hitch takes off and has a first down and more down inside the 30 for Montreal. So a big turnaround and momentum here off that Alexander penalty.
Well, this is a well executed bubble screen, not a bubble screen, but just a hit screen to the outside. For all those offensive coordinators that want me to get the terminology bang on, it's just a hit screen, but well blocked at the point of attack.
He's down outside the 20 now. 12-point lead, looking for more. Loves now to Philpott. He turns around, he gets only about a yard on that.
Well, the Bombers have lost Kenny Lawler early in this game to injury, and the Alouettes have lost Tyler Sneed. I think he will be returning. He's got down that sideline, had great concentration on this deep ball against the zone earlier in the game. And coming up after that tackle, and again, clean tackle there, but it looked like Ford just kind of fell on the back of his legs.
So just inside the 20, and quickly again over to Philpott, down to the 15, working in it a little more. So an opportunity here at 12 to make it a 15-point lead with a third down coming up, and we expect to see David Cote coming on to see if he can add another field goal here for the Alouettes.
You know, I would call that a successful drive for the Owls. So I mean, hit screens took the Bombers out of really any big time, blitz packages, trying to create a turnover, and could match the field goal. Attempt.
Cote, 1 for 1, 21-yard try. That's another. So 9:52 in the clock here at Princess Auto Stadium, and it's now a 15-point. Still time for the Bombers, but that offense has to get to work. Now, they're down 2 scores still, but it's a 15-point game for Zach Collaros. Taking to Dembski, dumping it off to Oliveira. He's taken down, coming in, Tyrell Richards on the tackle after a pickup of about 5-6 yards.
Real good tacklers, close quickly. Veteran secondary. This is an outstanding defense. Montreal made some nice additions too. Derek Wigan is a great addition in the interior of that D line. Got a rotation there. Avery Ellis also rotate in. So
They spotted the ball at the 44, so actually a 2nd and 6 after a 4-yard carry on that pass to Oliveira. So here's Collaros again. He completes it. No, he doesn't. Intended for Schoen, and all over him like a blanket is Darnell Sankey. Yet to lose as a member of the Alouettes. I mean, his arrival coincided with that long winning streak, capped off with a championship.
Well, and he walked it like he talked it. I mean, he had that speech I mentioned off the top, and then Darnell Sankey in the semifinal, 8 tackles, an interception, and 2 sacks. In the final, 6 tackles and an interception. and in the Cup, 8 tackles and a sack. I mean, he walked it like he talked it.
What a great acquisition he was. And here's Letcher on the return, and gets turned around and flops down on his back at about the 33-34.
You can watch the Cup.
Welcome CTV. A flea flicker here. Fletcher back to Fajardo. Wide open. Fooled the Bombers. Tyson Philpott has touchdown number 2. What a play by Montreal as the Alouettes are pouring it on with a little trickery. 76-yard touchdown on the flea flicker. Cody Fajardo to Tyson Philpott again.
You know, Fajardo sees that the DBs are coming down towards the line of scrimmage. That was Dedrick Nichols that I just drew coming closer to the line of scrimmage. He knows the Bombers. He and Jason Moss, Anthony Calvillo know the Bombers are desperate to make something happen defensively. They want to get after it. They want to try and sack Cody Fajardo, maybe cause a fumble. So why not play into that? Go with the flea flicker. The great call. Outstanding call.
It's like those two have connected before. Fajardo and Philpott again, and Cote the point after. And that is wide left, so no point after that time. It remains 27-6, but still a 21-point lead now for the Alouettes. Near the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Wow, Tyson Philpott just picking it up where he left off at the end of Grey Cup 110.
Well, watch Philpott sell this. You got to be a good actor here. The Oscar goes to Tyson Philpott. Watch him. Hold it there. Now, where are the eyes right here of Tyrell Ford? They're back in the backfield on this run play. Whoa, whoa, hey, wait a minute. Where's my guy? He's gone. He is gone. You know, the Bombers trying to play desperately to come back in this game. They're trying to get aggressive. You see Dedrick Nichols up in the line of scrimmage. The DBs got their eyes in the backfield trying to make something happen. And that's why this is such a great call at that time to go with that play, get the DBs peeking, and get in behind them.
Perfect call at the right time, and Fajardo celebrates it there. Touchdown pass.
Jalen, that's for you. Show me what you got this weekend. Let's go.
Talking to his brother Jalen.
Calgary Stampede.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow night.
The Stamps are playing Hamilton Tiger Cats, so one of the twin Philpotts off to the races in 2024 now. He has 117 yards receiving suddenly on that second touchdown grab. So the hole is that much bigger for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, down 27-6. Just over 8 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
Philpott's getting a nose for the end zone. The last 4 games of the regular season, he scored a major. The first game of this regular season, he scores a couple of majors.
Yeah. And that was the longest catch of his career, 76 yards.
And some nice acceleration at the end of that one, which is why we need a little oxygen.
Yeah.
And a little O2. Get back up.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call.
So Tyson gets the oxygen. Cody, he gets on the phone, talks that one over. Nick Dembski now.
Well, I think he just went up to AC there and said, yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, that one worked.
That was a great call. Now right to the O-line.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Keep them fired up.
You know, this was a team a year ago that they had a lot to prove, and certainly at the start of the season, that's knocked down in the line of scrimmage. Another case in point, though, with what happened last year, the way it ended, how much does that affect a team's confidence, even with a lot of the same personnel coming into a new year?
Well, you know, we've talked about some of the young players for Winnipeg here tonight, and they don't have that experience. Like even the young players in Montreal, the second-year guys. You know, I think of the corner Kavion Ento, who's just a second-year guy, but he has Grey Cup experience. He has playoff experience. He's played in the big game, and by the way, had a big pick in the big game in the Grey Cup. Those young guys have all that experience, and that gives you confidence.
That guy Letcher has some too for what he did late in the season for the Alouettes. Some big returns. But Tyson Philpott in his 3rd year at the University of Calgary. In the heels of that Grey Cup winning touchdown, is apart for Tyson Philpott here in the opener. A couple of touchdowns courtesy Cody Fajardo.
Well, for a lot of Montreal fans, I'm sure they're saying, hey, we lost Austin Mack, so who picks up the slack there? Could very well be number 6. He certainly has tonight. #1 target for Cody Fajardo. Couple of majors, finding the end zone, good breakaway speed. And it looks to me like he's really worked on his route running in the offseason, because he looks good there. And boy, did he sell that trick play.
He sure did. Not bad at stringing a couple of games together, too, isn't he? Of course, the other one was a little while ago. On the carry is Mulder Fletcher. But a 27-6 game right now. And not over yet. The Bombers still have time to add to their lead, but fewer than 10 points. It happened only once last season. It was here in week 3 against the BC Lions. BC beat them 30-6, and they certainly bounced back after that, went 14-4, but not something you see, especially here in Winnipeg, very often. Montreal in charge, up 3 touchdowns and with the football, 4th quarter. And it is back to Philpott. He had his breather, and he goes to work again. Another good amount of yardage after the catch as well for Tyson Philpott.
But I know exactly what Cody Fajardo was saying when he told us during the week that he's got just a completely different comfort level with this offense, and he has shown it throughout the game, whether it be the short game and these little hitches, or when he tried to press the ball deep on the outsides. I mean, he looks in complete command of this offense.
Minutes to go. Little deception, handing off to Fletcher, gets it up across the 30. 2nd down coming up.
But I'll say this, and you know, this is not an excuse. You don't have to give an excuse in week 1 to a team that's been to the Cup 4 straight years in a row and won 2 of them. So that's not what I'm trying to do. But missing Adam Bighill in the middle is big for this defense. I mean, his leadership is one. Pre-game, he's working on it. He's trying to get back. But his athleticism, people forget that he'll go on a blitz on one play and drop back into the middle third on another, because he's that versatile and that good. And it just opens up the defense in a big way for Winnipeg. And he, of course, wasn't in the lineup tonight.
2nd and 5 at the 32. Complete first down, you know who. Philpott again. What a night he is having. Tyson Philpott just keeps it going. And another thought about Bighill, too, as you pointed out earlier, it's not just what Bighill does himself on the field, but the leadership, the influence he has on the rest of his team.
Well, exactly. You know, when Terrell Bonds or Tyrell Ford, the young corners, come back into the huddle, and, you know, their eyes are big and they're saying, wow, you know, Philpott's making some plays here. That's when a guy like Adam Bighill walks over and says, hey, 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 play like you didn't practice. Let's go. Don't worry about that. Get ready for the next one. And maybe jump a route. Go ahead and jump a route. You hear your captain say that, you feel pretty good, and it helps.
Fajardo escapes for a moment with some heat coming in on him, but ultimately he is down. And a 2nd down coming up.
Fajardo does not want to be forced into an errant throw, and Willie Jefferson got in that lane. Jefferson led the league last year in knockdowns. He's got that long reach we've talked about many times. And Cody Fajardo being safe with the football was a good decision.
And as said, Fajardo has a lot of experience trying to duck underneath and get away from number 5. 2nd and 10 now. The Alouette 44. Gets it to Fletcher. Gets a few more yards, but 3rd down, and Ziem will be coming on to punt it away.
Chipped away at the clock, that drive. Safe throws. And, you know, with a decent punt here, got some putting it Zach Collaros in a bind with a long field, and that was really the goal of that drive. Get out of your own end.
And it's 11 straight completions for Fajardo. Not enough for a first down, though, as they call the 3-minute. And this opening night of the Canadian Football League season, we're just getting started. 3 more games to come in week 1. To look at Myron Mitchell replacing Janarian Grant as the return specialist. Grant moving on, signing with the Toronto Argonauts, who open up against BC at home on Sunday.
Timeout, Montreal. Timer, please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 41 seconds. 2:41.
Yeah, interesting matchups with Bo Levi Mitchell going back to Calgary tomorrow night. First time, and again, that feels weird to say because it feels like a long time since he's been there.
And it was just well, for one thing, he missed a lot of time with injury, but also it was never on the sked. Hamilton didn't go to Calgary last year.
They didn't last year. Just one game against those two teams played against each other, and that was in Hamilton.
Zima to punt. And Mitchell on the return.
And then we head to Edmonton.
Yeah.
And is that going to be a star-studded affair or what? I mean, the likes of Warren Moon, Ricky Ray, Willie Pless, Brian Kelly.
And our Matt Dunnigan's going to be there too, of
Matty,
course, right?
our Matty, you know, many others, Damon Allen. I still have nightmares of Brian Kelly.
Yeah. Boy, the legends of that franchise is past. I mean, you start rattling off those names, and we're just scratching the surface here.
Well, it's
all the greats in the Edmonton organization that once won the Grey Cup 5 years in a row.
Yeah, and you think about it, it's you know, it's kind of a tough draw for Saskatchewan. Not insurmountable, obviously. And I think they're real excited about their team with Trevor Harris coming back, but you know, and is healthy. The preseason proved that. So Trevor Harris be ready to run an offense with A.J. Ouellette in the backfield.
Right.
And that's going to change things in a big way for them. So it's not insurmountable, but the Edmonton Elks are a desperate football team. I mean, anyone that's played on that team in the last couple of years, maybe the newcomers won't get it, but I mean, they got to get off to a good start. Let's be honest.
Really need to.
4 wins in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
doesn't sit well.
This is the 3rd season for Chris Jones with Edmonton. But yeah, it has been a while. In fact, their last playoff appearance, Jason Moss was their head coach in his final of 4 years when they won it in Montreal. They won a playoff game. It's caught again. You saw Johnny Augustine, the running back, and that is caught by Pokey Wilson. There's Pokey Wilson on Ontaria Wilson in his debut in the CFL, and a new receiver for the Bombers. But mentioning Moss, so yeah, that was the last time Edmonton ended up losing in the Eastern Final as a crossover team to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Colaris, 2 minutes to go. Getting chased down, it's deflected, it falls incomplete.
Of course, that Edmonton game will have the debut as a head coach of Corey Mace. Formerly with the Argos and
A.J. Ouellette.
Yeah, A.J. Ouellette, as I mentioned. And yeah, so, you know, again, I think it's going to be a great matchup. The Edmonton Elk will have all they can handle, but they're going to play with a sense of urgency. McLeod Bethel-Thompson back in the league. I'm sure Trey Ford will still be involved in that offense in some way or another. And yeah, this should be a good battle there. And then we finish off the week with BC and Toronto.
A lot of expectations on the Lions. Be curious to see how the Argos respond. Cameron Dukes will be starting at quarterback. 3-man rush. As time winds down for Colaris. Lots of time, but nowhere to go. And he just ends up heading out of bounds. So yeah, good slate. Good to see it all getting going again.
And our newcomer, our rookie on the panel, Enoch Mwamba. It'll be his night in Toronto.
Yeah.
To honor. And again, Farhan said it off the top. We're dedicating, all of us, the entire season to our buddy Dutchie. I know he's watching, and I think back to Dutchie handing out the awards.
I'll never forget that.
With his and Mwamba with the tears in his eyes and his daughter. And
I felt so good for Dutch coming back to Saskatchewan, born in Regina, raised in Porcupine Plain. And it just, the way things converged, he had a chance to come home and host our Grey Cup coverage. And it's memorable for Enoch, of course, but you know, from the point of view of our broadcast family, I'll never forget that day.
So we might have a very emotional final game of the first week of the regular season.
Yeah. Caught by Schoen. Not much time left. But a point about Enoch, whose career started here in Winnipeg, drafted by the Blue Bombers in 2011, and time in Saskatchewan. Of course, he had time with Montreal, played for both of these teams, and you know, wrapping it up, wasn't able to play last year, but wrapping it up in style. And that Grey Cup victory for the Argos over these Bombers at Mosaic in Regina. Augustine again, product of 12, the veteran taking it down near the 10.
And I'll tell you what, the West Coast is excited about their football team.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Vernon Adams, and I know they've lost a couple of weapons, but they feel real good about their squad coming out. And the Grey Cup, from what I understand, is already sold. And we're in game 1, and it's already sold over 40K.
Dalton Schoen takes it down near the goal line. Kavion Ento and Marc-Antoine Dequoy keeping him out of the zone. And Winnipeg getting close, and the Bombers yet to score a touchdown in this game.
Yeah, they just want to get something to feel good about going into week 2. Get a score, get a major. You know, obviously Montreal playing a little differently with the lead at 3 minutes to go. A little more room out there.
And Augustine takes it in for the first Winnipeg touchdown of this first game of the year. Not nearly enough, but it's something for Bomber fans to cheer about in a difficult night.
Yeah, they're going to figure it out. Veteran squad.
Well, as said, I remember being here in week 3 when BC just dominated this Bomber team, won it 30-6, and Winnipeg turned it around. They ended up winning the division again at 14-4. So, and what a tough night for their kicker, Sergio Castillo.
Yeah.
Normally very reliable, one of the most accurate kickers in the league. He's missed a couple of field goals left, and he misses that point after right. That kind of night as some boos start to rain down here.
Well, he hit on 90% last year.
Yeah, just a little over 90.
Long of 53. So again, a lot of what we're seeing uncharacteristic of this Bomber team, obviously, but when it comes to the offense not being on track, I mean, that's something that looks like it's just a technique thing for Castillo, and I'm sure he'll watch himself on video and get that figured out. But you know, when you talk about the slow start and the offense being off track, a lot of has to go to that Montreal defense.
Yeah.
They create turnovers at the right time, forced and drew some penalties that were costly to the Bombers. And now one of the leaders offensively is going up and down there. Zach Klar is telling everybody, one of his teammates, hey, don't worry about this one. Get back to the drawing board. But a nice game plan for the Montreal Alouettes on defense, and executed well. And again, the comfort level of Cody Fajardo was very evident tonight. Yeah, very evident tonight.
And building on that confidence we talked about in that East final, nothing against the Alouette offense, who didn't have to do as much because defense and special teams were so good. But heading into that Grey Cup, Alouette defense was still very good, but Fajardo in the offense, when it was needed most in that final drive especially, even starting the second half when they exploded down the field with some big plays, it wasn't just the defense in that Grey Cup. They got it done, and Fajardo in the offense did on that day against Winnipeg too. F1 makes its annual stop in Canada this Sunday with the Canadian Grand Prix at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve and Ile Notre Dame in Montreal. It all begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. F1 on TSN in Canada. Canadian Football League, night 1. Great to have you back. Great to be back watching the Canadian Football League in play. 1 of 4 this week, and it's gone the Alouettes' way just like it did back in November. Play out this final minute. Walter Fletcher. But I was going to say the thought about that defense for Noel Thorpe and the difference it made late in the season.
Yeah, oh yeah,
It
big time. Darnell Sankey, but you know, when I look at Philpott and I think about the ceiling, like think about what is possible. I mean, Jalen, you're up, by the way.
Yeah.
I know he's watching.
I was just going to say, unfortunately for Jalen, at the start of his career, a lot of injuries. So hopefully he can stay healthy. So
well, what a night. What a night for Tyson.
Proud parents, too, I'm sure. Talked last year about Corey Philpott, who won a Grey Cup with the BC Lions back in 1994. And a football family.
And you know, when we have our talks with the teams before the game, and we were talking to Cody Fajardo and we asked about Philpott coming to camp and how he looked, and it's not in what they say but how they say it sometimes. And Cody Fajardo got almost giddy.
Yeah.
You know, he's answering the question, oh yeah, but his tone went up. It looked like he was visibly excited about talking about what could be possible for Tyson Philpott. And it's just one game. It's the start, but it was a great one out of the gate.
It is picked up by Evan Holm on the final play. The flag does come out. And Fajardo. Well, not all his trips to Winnipeg have been this positive. He had some tough ones as a member of the Riders a few years ago, but he's enjoying this night just the way he enjoyed that night 200 days ago.
There was no yards in the play by Montreal. That penalties decline. This is the end of the game.
Last season ended with the Alouettes getting the better of the Blue Bombers. This season begins the same way. Grey Cup rematch. Well, it's Montreal doing it again. Cody Fajardo celebrating again, and his favorite receiver is the one who caught that Grey Cup winner back last November, Tyson Philpott. What a night for him as he picked up 10 catches. Thank you for watching. Thursday Night Football presented by New York Fries. Game 1 in the books. And the defending champions on the road are the ones that got it done. The Alouettes looking to prove that whatever happened last year was certainly no fluke. Montreal looks strong. Tomorrow, the season continues with the Ticats. Cole Levi Mitchell visiting Calgary. Thank you for watching from Winnipeg. SportsCenter's next on TSN.